Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic: what is one invention that we'd be better off without? Landmines. I'll tell you why. They render large tracts of land completely unusable. They are expensive and difficult to remove safely because there is seldom documentation of where they are placed. They are cheap, plentiful, easy to place, and deadly. They kill / maim livestock and wild animals. They kill / maim innocent people decades after conflicts have ended. Many times the victims are children because they can't read or don't understand warning signs. This is a great answer. They really are truly horrible, and hurt people long after whatever stupid war has gone down. I was going to say Twitter, but I have to admit this is worse. Yes. Landmines on some Denmark territory have only recently been all cleaned away. It took so many decades to remove them and make it safe for tourists to traverse the dunes again. Dumb question, but how do they know when or if the landmines are gone? Like, is there documentation on the total that were placed, or did they just stop finding any? Robocalls. A smaller but related issue is calling different businesses and hearing a robot on the end. To navigate through all their hoops, especially when it's a voice response system, and only find that you landed in the wrong section and have to do the whole thing over, is extremely frustrating. For questions about your account, press 1. Oh, your question was about billing, you should have pressed 2 for billing. Oh, your question about billing is why you were billed twice, you should have pressed 3 for dispute resolution. Oh, your dispute was due to a processing error, you should have pressed 4 for bookkeeping. Oh, bookkeeping only has access to your account for records and inquiries, so we can tell you your payment history and the like, so if you want to know why you were billed twice, you should have pressed 1 for questions about your account. The polygraph machine. Super accurate, and I believe even the inventor curses its existence. Yes. There is no device that can detect lies. Having a device monitor your pulse and heart rate is not a lie detector test, it is a device that monitors your pulse and heart rate. Or a printer. One of my favorite scenes in The Wire. It's basically just a prop for interrogations, the person believing it works is what makes it work. Otherwise it's pointless, and to say someone failed a polygraph is completely meaningless. I go through them regularly and I believe they're just intimidation / interrogation tools. Unless you have a major physical tic that gives you away when you lie, lol. Asbestos in popcorn ceiling. Wow, thanks for the upvotes and awards, y'all. And for sharing your stories. This stuff has caused a lot of pain and sickness, and I am sorry. Plus it's tacky as hell. Asbestos in general, too many people, including myself, have lost grandparents or parents to mesothelioma. Edit, I'm getting lots of mention to this, I'm mainly talking about general use items provided to the public. Fun fact, actually not fun at all fact, you are more likely to get other lung cancers than mesothelioma from asbestos exposure. Mesothelioma just is a slam dunk for lawyers, since you basically can only get it from asbestos exposure. As a kid I slept on a bunk bed about a foot under a popcorn ceiling, the stuff would fall on me all the time, and my sheets were covered with it. I'm probably dead. As a kid, I used to tinker with electronics, and my dad got me an asbestos tile to use as a work mat for soldering. I'd set it on the table where it would endure abuse from a soldering iron along with other scrapes and scratches from wires, tools, and equipment. Then I'd take it back to my room and toss it behind the door until the next time. That thing had beat up fraying corners and edges, but it dutifully prevented me from burning my mom's kitchen table. That was 40-something years ago, and between that and holding leaded solder in my mouth while I held wires on one hand and a soldering iron in the other, I feel fortunate to be alive. I did the same thing, and I would wake up with scratches and cuts all over my knuckles from turning in my sleep. Pop-up ads. Not only are they so annoying, but can either scam or install malware on the devices of unsuspecting people. The dude that made them apologized. Would have happened anyway even without that dude. Now the equivalent is interstitial ads, same idea, just within page with a grayed out background. Things haven't gotten much better. Seafloor trawling. It destroys the habitat of fish just so we can squeeze every bit of a fish from an area. That seems counterproductive. DEM short-term gains, shareholders will be pleased. Sometimes fishermen will just toss bad nets into the ocean. If they are in an area with a strong current, they'll move on their own and become whirling nets of death. They'll catch anything they come into contact with and kill it. Divers have reported seeing these nets with the skeletons of thousands of sea life still stuck. Commercial fishing nets make up 50% of ocean plastics. And yet the industry got everyone focused on drinking straws instead. Ads on streaming services that I fucking pay for. You don't need revenue, hello, that's what my subscription is. Cable has historically been more expensive than any single streaming service, yet they threw ads at us as frequently as network television for years and got away with it. The selling point of cable was originally to get rid of ads, but they slowly crept in. The same will happen to streaming. Any product that you pay for, and then have to pay a subscription to use. Subscriptions for any service that absolutely does not need to be a subscription. And by that I mean Microsoft Office. Or any software you install and run at your home or buys. Shit that time bombs because, fuck you, give us more money. Dealing with that now. Working to tell those groups, fuck you not paying, as soon as I can. Hello Adobe. Or Palo. Adobe is fully subscription. You don't pay an initial fee for the software. That said, fuck Adobe and subscription models. Cookie pop-ups. How come we still don't have a more efficient way to manage our browsing privacy? They are also teaching users that clicking any OK pop-up is a normal thing, which just makes them more prone to get malware on some websites. Huge point. Thanks for adding this. Source: I'm retired user interaction designer. Facebook. Social media in general. Reddit is social media. Devices meant to break after a short period of time, and devices that purposely have parts you can't replace. We have a telescope that's thousands of dollars and the place that makes it refuses to have any replacement parts and won't let anyone else make them. Who is that? I'd like to know so I don't buy from them. Unskippable ads. You block Origin, my friend. Seriously, life without ad block is hell. Sponsor block too. Apparently it saved me 4 hours and 40 minutes since installing it a few months ago. Keurig single-use pods. Even the guy who invented them hates them. He says that, but he's also incredibly wealthy from it. He's probably only so regretful, you know. Autoplay videos, especially in non-video streaming websites. Nobody asked for them, yet so much work is getting put into making it a web standard. Just fucking stop. Edit, thanks for the responses, yes I'm aware that there's ways to block it. And I guess, thank God there's a standard because it can make it easier to block. The key point is that nobody asked for videos to play in the background of news sites, so why does it exist? Edit 2, wow, this blew up. Please don't spend any money on fake Reddit metal, go ahead and donate it to a worthwhile charity instead. I'm seeing these on recipe sites more and more. No Donna, I don't need to see you making sloppy joes. I just came to see your measurements for a roux. Reality TV. I swear it glamorized the worst kind of behavior, and we ate it up. Not to mention being the catalyst for the hard luck story narrative, which has now led to every single person on the planet being desperate to be a victim of something. Literally every competition show has a moment set aside for each contestant to share the horrible misfortune that befell them and why they need to win. Ruthenium Paul's Drag Race, Chopped, etc. It's disgustingly disingenuous. Drug commercials. Fuck me, your average Joe, making drug recommendations to my doctor who spent 10+ years studying and working to be in the position. Those ads are banned in Canada, so whenever I watched an American channel it was just such a culture shock that they were allowed to advertise those things like that. A roommate of mine watches a lot of court TV and the ads on that are just aimed at seniors trying to scam them constantly. It's insane. Pretty sure prescription drug ads are banned everywhere but the US. Leaded gasoline. Fun fact, the guy, Thomas Midgley, who thought to put lead in gasoline later went on to develop Freon, which is used in aerosols. He is the single biggest negative contributor to global warming the environment of any single living thing ever. And he died by another of his own inventions. Poetic justice in a weird, morbid way. The guy who invented it proved to the media that it was totally safe by ingesting lead and having them do a urine test on him. Since lead stays in your body forever and isn't cleared through excretions, of course his urine test was totally clear. He also invented CFCs for use in refrigeration, and thus contributed mightily to the depletion of the ozone layer. But in the end, he developed polio and died horribly strangled to death by a bed he invented to help get in and out of bed due to the disease. Oh shit, I was going to say this dude. Everything he tried to do, he kind of succeeded but at great cost to the earth. Came here to say leaded paint. Thousands of houses in the US are still covered in leaded paint, which slowly poisons children in predominantly low-income neighborhoods. It's not that difficult or expensive to replace it, the government just stopped giving a shit once all the rich people's houses were sorted out. It's not that difficult or expensive to replace it, the government just stopped giving a shit once all the rich people's houses were sorted out. Certainly not. I live in an area where a lot of apartments have lead paint, and it's one of the easiest thing to force landlords to fix because the rules in place are really strict. You do not want to be a landlord who refused to fix lead paint issues when a family with children live in it. Me and my brother both got lead poisoning as children from playing in the dirt next to our lead painted house. My mom was renting, the landlady didn't tell her, my brother was hospitalized, and my mom sued her into oblivion.